wanna do? I can't tell you. Wish I could too. Say it's your game. Do what you wanna do now. Say, I can't tell you.
Well. Here we are. Episode 4. We'll call it the rebirth. Welcome to the Rockstar Roadie podcast, where the stories are real, the sarcasm's free, the gig butt burns, and therapy usually comes with a side of whiskey. We'll talk about the chaos, the laughs, and mental health battles that come with life on the road. Strap in, because we're pulling back the curtain and maybe tripping over a few egos and pissing off a few rock stars on the way. It's good to be back. And we're doing it a little different this time. No live streams. We're doing it all recording just because it looks better. Couple things that I got to throw in here, the lawyers. Disclaimer, all opinions and thoughts are that of mine and my guest. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, but I might see one or two. I have 2 rules for the podcast. They're simple. No politics, no religion. Like I said, this is episode 4. We'll call it the rebirth. I picked this guest for the podcast because, and he's going to probably correct me when he comes on here because I might be wrong according to my wife, but I think it was back in 2012. I was working in a theater in Charlotte, North Carolina, retired, but I was going through a divorce, kind of not in a good way. And I reached out to just a very, I think 2 or 3 people, and it got back to this gentleman. And he called me and said, "Hey, you want to come out and do some spinning keyboards for me on sticks?" I said, yes. And the reason was because working at the theater wasn't a lot of money. So I'm having to pay for my townhome, making sure my kids had everything before I had what I needed. So, but anyway, so in my opinion, this man saved my ass and got me back in the business. Thanks, pal. But please welcome my former PM and my good friend, Mr. Keith Marks.
Hey.
What's up, brother? Was it 2012? I don't remember.
It had to be before that.
Maybe.
Because that's when I left. That was the year I left.
Oh, okay. So my divorce was final in 2007. So it was probably 2006, 2007. See, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember.
My wife right again.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. But we've known each other we knew each other before that because, I was with RSB Wagon, you were with Sticks, the PM, and we did, God, what did we do? We did, God, I can't remember the name of the tours, but we did.
Oh, God. Well, we started with REO in 2000.
Yeah, that's when I started with them. So it was 2000
right.
REO Sticks.
Yeah.
And then, God, we did, I don't even remember, dude. We did so many tours together.
Yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. That's for sure.
It has. It is. It's
By the way, that was my pleasure because I wouldn't hire anyone or speak for anyone that I didn't believe in.
Thank you, brother.
So
I had fun. It was just boring.
Yeah.
I got to do a lot of things. There was one spinning keyboard. I was set up in 20 minutes every day, and I broke down at 10.
Yeah, and I think we built it in my garage.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we put a new top on it, a new plexi top, and there were lights and all kinds of stuff.
I didn't build that. I built the rack in your garage, the double wide for Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't build the spinning. I built the rack.
I do remember that.
But
yeah, we revamped the whole thing. That was before, I think Jeff came. Obviously, it was before Jeff Hines came on.
Well, it's a funny story about Jeff because we laugh about it all the time. I remember you having me train him.
Oh.
But I didn't remember that. Jeff had to tell me that when we do TSO, we joke about it every year. It's he's like, you trained me for 3 shows. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but okay.
Yeah.
So we laugh about that because when we first met each other on TSO, I'm like, why are you in my phone? How do I know you? And he's like, I took over for you on Sticks when you went to go do Matchbox 20. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, so that could have been 07, 08, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because I went and did Matchbox, and then, that was 08, 07, 08. Yeah, you're right. 100%.
That lays it right in there, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
thank
you for doing this. You were my first choice.
Oh, God, I'm honored.
Well, there's a friendship.
But
I mean, I have a lot of friends, and then I have friends. and you were in my life, you were that pivotal moment. I mean, I had to look my son in the face and break my promise saying Daddy had to go back on the road, but he was old enough to understand why.
I've broken that promise many times. I know
Yeah.
what it feels.
I mean, I was working at the theater and we were salary capped. So I was making $2,000 a month. Now that's a big, right. That's a big drop in what we normally make on the road.
Right.
And then, when I didn't, so I could barely, I afforded my rent on the townhome, and then I was able to make sure they had everything they want. And then they would go to their moms, and then I'd eat ramen noodles, and, skim by, but I was also drinking again. I started drinking, and me coming out with you stopped me from drinking.
Right. Yeah.
Which,
well, good.
Yeah. Well, I fell off the well. Well, it stopped me from drinking. It stopped me from drinking, except when Joe Elliott pulled me into the quiet room.
Oh, for the shot of Jameson.
The shot of Jameson. It's like, Joe, I'm trying to quit. Come on.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been in that room, but I don't know if I ever took a shot. I haven't done anything in a long, long time.
After the fourth or fifth time, and they start tasting good, you got to go, Joe, I'm done.
Well, he just needs the cup to land right side up.
I can never get it to land right side up, and he'd fill my damn cup up again.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, so, we talked about what we're going to do here, and I do have a list of questions, and obviously we're going to go off the cuff because it's kind of what we do. But,
right.
Tell me your first memory of life on the road and what drew you to touring.
Wow. Well, my first tour was 1975, I believe, 76. I was working at a music store, Gand Music, in Chicago, where I grew up. And he says, hey, I want you to take the PA out with Bob Wilcox. I don't know if you know Bob. He's now up in the UP of Michigan, I think.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, head of the union up there and everything. He's a great guy. And so he took a PA out for, Burt Bacharach and Dionne Warwick. And then we continued on with Sonny Rollins and Jeff Lorber, who had a saxophone player named Kenny Gorlick, Kenny G, before he was Kenny G.
Wow.
And he learned about PAs and putting them together, just like I learned about, gear. I just did it,
Well, I think that's how all of us old
exactly.
learn.
Exactly.
We just did it.
There was no teaching, no books, none of that. No. That's how I learned how to mix. Oh, what does this knob do? Okay, great. Pretty much. But that was my first taste on the road 50 years ago.
Right.
And then went back, I did, more years, a couple more years at the store, and then kept meeting these jingle people. And that's when my cartage company started. So I'll take a little bit of a left turn here.
No, I'll go.
And I was also playing in bands, so that was the first. I think I may have sent you a couple of photos. Oh, no.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, there you go. 19 years old. Yeah, I'm a big rock star. Oh, man. Anyway, so I met all these jingle people. I had no idea there was this thriving jingle commercial music industry in Chicago. And they had no cartage company. And I got a call from this guy, Craig Williams, who owned a recording studio, and said, I need you to move some gear for Steve Rodby, who was the bass player for Pat Metheny. And I had a van. I always had a van because I was always in bands. And how else do you get your gear around?
I had a station wagon.
And I made a week's pay in 2 hours.
Right.
And ding, started meeting more and more, word of mouth, and had to quit the music store and started my cartage company. And
nice.
That took off. Yeah, it just went crazy. I had every musician. I had pagers going off, and we went from 1 truck to 3 trucks to guys, and it was like, holy shit, what are we doing here?
Well, what's hysterical, not to interrupt you, but what's hysterical is that first question I actually designed based on talking to a shit ton of crew guys over the years. And, right. And I designed it, what drew you into touring? Because that tells me we did it for the money and the fun.
Right.
When, we did it because the money was great and we didn't, we could do whatever we wanted. But nowadays, these guys, they're like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do them. Bullshit. I did it for the money and the booze. I mean, let's just be real.
But it was fun. It was fun, but it wasn't a straight line for me.
Right.
You know, that was the thing. It went from touring to, okay, now we're going to go do this for a while.
Yeah.
And the point is, that's how I met the guys in Styx.
Right.
You know, I got a gig setting up Tom Radke's drums at Pumpkin Studios with Gary Loizo, who wound up being front of house for Styx. May he rest in peace. One of the greatest guys that anyone could ever meet and learn under. I used to watch him all the time. And through the glass, there was Dennis DeYoung. That was my first meeting, 1982.
Wow.
You know?
Wasn't that Grand Illusion in 1982?
No. They were mixing the live record.
Okay.
Grand Illusion was 77.
Oh,
That's the one that took them off. By then, they were huge rock stars. That was after Paradise Theater.
Okay.
Right into Kilroy. So in between Kilroy and the live album.
That's what it was. Okay. I was thinking I should have said Kilroy.
Yeah. And that's when I came in, and Dennis and I got to talking. I wound up programming keyboards for him because I knew how to do that. I had a Mac, you know, back then. It was crazy. I mean, it was just the advent of keyboards, MIDI. And that's how that started. And all of a sudden he's like, okay, you're coming with me. And off we went. I did all of his solo records. I helped on that.
Right.
In the studio and live. I mixed and we went off and did a bunch of gigs. And that's kind of how I ramped back up into touring through the 80s. And through them, I met the Night Ranger guys. And all of a sudden, I was like, here we go. I'm back on the road.
Right.
So that was my zigzag, straight line, you know. But I always had the cartage company going.
Right. Well, you always had a back pocket. I think a lot of guys nowadays don't even realize you got to have a back pocket item. You have to.
Well, you're lucky if you do. Yeah. And you got to be able to recognize the open doors.
Yeah.
You know, and walk through them in blind faith. I left my job going, okay, this is going to happen. I got with my girlfriend, Sandy, who's still my wife 44 years later. Yeah. And we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And we're like, how do we pay the rent?
Yeah.
You know, and the cartage company took off and we could buy our first house. We got married. You know, the rest of that is history. And it's been, 2 kids later. And lots of tours and lots of cartage, you know, just you just got to keep working. Put one foot in front of the other.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking at your back wall and we both have the same Def Leppard freaking poster that they gave us. I remember that.
Yeah. 2007.
Yeah. So yeah, I was there 2007. There we go. Enough said. And now we know the date. So
same thing, which, you know, to me, it's, you know, it's nice to be acknowledged that they thought enough to give us one, you know?
Yeah. And that's one thing. It's just like, I mean, it's no secret. I work for Bon Jovi and I also work for TSO.
Right.
There's always acknowledgement. They appreciate Bon Jovi has like been the best. They're very respectable. They treat their crew very well. TSO is amazing the way they treat us. Yes, it is a pain in the ass. I mean, 2 shows a day back.
I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, when we do double show days, backline sometimes load ins like 6 a.m.
Sure.
So I'm like, you know, but it's one of those things where
I've done many 6 a.m., 4 a.m. load ins, you know, for radio shows and.
Yeah, but not at our age.
Well, no. I don't tour anymore. Yeah.
But it's like every show, it's a thank you from the band, even sometimes on stage. Well, actually, every night, Al Petrelli on the West Coast for us thanks the crew every night, which is amazing.
Love it.
People don't understand. It's like, oh, that's just a shtick. No, that means a lot to us.
Sometimes that's all we get.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't get that. You know, it all depends. You know, it all depends. I've worked with a lot of bands. You've worked with a lot of bands. Some of them are better than others. Some of them acknowledge you, bend over backwards to take care of you.
Yeah.
Some of them take care of your families. You know, I remember, I don't know if you were with us, Styx and REO.
Yeah.
Flew all our families in for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You know, and they rented out like the House of Blues. I mean, that was amazing. My kids will never forget that. They were little.
Yeah. I think I just got a video clip somewhere on a hard drive somewhere from that, actually the one you're talking about.
Oh,
because we did it for REO, did it for Christmas as well.
Yeah.
So
there was lots of things like that. Lots of things like that.
Yeah. And it's respect when
Means a
you
lot.
respect me and you treat me right, I'll do that extra mile for you, because then it goes beyond the paycheck for me, because you're showing me respect as a human.
Yeah, you can always tell a crew guy who's always grumpy isn't working for the right people,
Nope.
because all it takes is a little bit of that. And, another 4 a.m. loading, no problem,
I mean, the
And
thing is, I'm hearing from a lot of crew guys, especially after the pandemic.
mhm.
They're very expendable now. I mean, I'm seeing it and it's really fallen to the younger crew guys too. Cause the other thing about like Jovi and TSO, they're all seasoned guys, and seasoned, I call them old farts, that's us. Because they know we'll get the job done, and they know we're not going to bitch about much. And, nowadays, but these younger kids, I'm hearing a lot of stories from a lot of different people that bands are just, throw one out, bring one in, throw one out, bring one in. It's just like,
Well, you're not gonna get guys that are any good,
no.
I think.
And
So you're really shooting yourself in the foot.
well, you as a PM and me as a PM, by the way, for you uneducated people, as a production manager, Keith's a PM, Keith's a PM, I'm a PM. So
And I've been a tour manager as well. Sure.
yeah, and me too. We're always told, I gotta get the budget down, gotta get the cheapest guys. Bro, if I told you stories about how many times I've been called because I've said no to a gig because they weren't paying enough, and then all of a sudden the 2 guys they used to replace me broke the shit that I built them. No, it's going to cost you way more money.
Yeah.
Because you didn't listen to begin with. You don't pay peanuts. You get your money.
Some people get that rule and some people don't.
That's why the older managers, they get it. And I respect that.
Some do.
There's
Yeah.
some managers I just want to kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Love that. I can remember this was my podcast. Yeah. And,
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yes,
All right. So here's one that someone asked me, and this one I know you're good at, because I think I might know one instance.
Uh-oh.
But, so touring can be unpredictable. You and I both know this. I have put out more fucking fires and saved more people's asses than I care to take credit for. But what's the biggest save the show moment you've been part of?
I remember a show in Denver at Fiddler's when JY's guitar rig went down. It froze on the clean channel,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't get his dirty channel. And I sat there for the whole show, dialing it up manually.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Where you dial it up and you got to remember the numbers, and everything's moving so fast, and the show's going on, and you think it goes by. It takes forever, but it went by like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of remember that, of the brief memory of sitting there on a milk crate, dialing. Okay, solo's coming up, because I knew the music, so I could step in. I've almost stepped in for most of the crew guys in that band,
Right.
except for the drum tech. Keyboard tech, guitar techs, who have to leave for an emergency. I did all of them, JY, Tommy. But that one I remember sitting there and, sweat, coming down, going, okay, solo. Okay, here we go. And some of it, it worked kind of.
See, I remember one. I've had a few in my career, but one that stands out to me with you is on the Journey Styx.
REO.
Was it REO?
It'd have to be. Well, probably.
Well,
unless we were.
No, because it was after that, because I was doing keys.
Oh.
No, wait, no, I don't remember. Anyway, but it was when we were doing set change from Styx into Journey. Oh, I was Journey Styx REO, because I was loading REO's truck, and you came flying out on the loading dock. Booger, I need you. What happened? Jethro just got stabbed with a piece of glass.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Is he alive?
I'm telling you, I mean, it was Russell, maybe rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He had these globes on the walkway that
Yep.
John Rossi had designed. It was a beautiful design. And he was.
That was a good looking set.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did a few too. And he came running around the corner with these globes, and here comes Jethro going the other way, and he smashed right into him and literally missed his heart by a couple of millimeters. I mean, it went right into his chest. It broke this globe, and the shard of glass went right into his chest. And oh my God, I mean, first of all, we had to make sure he didn't die on the spot.
Right.
And then, oh, you okay? Okay, Borga. Well, now we lost the keyboard tech. Get out of here.
Keyboard and bass tech's down. Where's Borga?
Yeah, that's how that went.
What?
That was one of the scariest moments.
No shit.
Because
I was like, damn. Oh.
That could have been way worse.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
even though there's EMTs on every show, in the bigger shows. There's always that could have been, all I can say, that could have been life ending.
Yeah. And
so,
dude, he's such a fucking roadie, by the way. He was back by the end of the night.
I know. Back. But that's Jethro. I mean, he was
exactly. And he's
Jethro.
still there. He's still
yeah.
I mean, but that again, that's an old school mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, I've broken my foot.
Listen, I did it at PNC. I came out between Styx and Aria. I don't think you were there. I think you were off doing something else. Styx changeover from Ario to Styx, and there was a cable. You know how anal I am about cable runs.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
you turned me into that.
Yeah. I won't say what I am, but there was one cable running straight down stage, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like yelling to the guitar guys, "Whose cable is this?" And they're blah, blah, blah. I'm busy. Okay, I got to fix it. So I run down to the edge of the stage, and my foot got caught. You know how PNC, the stage is only 2.5 feet high.
Yeah.
And it got caught between the stage and the sub. My foot went in between, and I went over.
Oh.
And would have gone over all the way because I couldn't get my foot out. But two people in the front row grabbed me, and I heard my foot crack right in half.
Yeah.
And I got the band. I hopped and I got the band on stage before I went to see the emergency room. But yeah, it was broken. Yeah.
And again, I'm going to say it every damn time. Old school.
Yeah.
I have worked hurt. Man, I was doing a show, no joke. I want to say 96, 97. I can't remember. I was with Slayer, and we were in Italy, and I had whatever. It was I had like West Nile virus. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like coming out both ends. Couldn't stand up straight. I mean, it was brutal. It was like the flu and food poisoning. I begged my tour manager, get me a fucking doctor. Nope. So here I am on stage left. My stage manager's hand and carry guitars while I'm sitting in a bucket. I'm like, bro, I got no choice at this point, but did it load out? You got to do it,
Yeah. He had food poisoning once in how many years? And it was rough.
Dude.
Yeah, it was rough. Yeah.
All right. So this picture right here.
Oh, boy.
This picture.
That was the old me.
That's the younger version of you. But this was you all the time. It's like, that's the look of, what the fuck are you doing?
It was outside some sort of fair because I didn't have an office. There's my production case, tilted, leaning against the building or a trailer or whatever.
Trailer.
And God knows what was going on. Who knows? Another stupid question.
Anyway.
From you, right. I'm just saying. Me.
So, part of this, a good portion of the show, as you and I have talked, is, what I don't think enough attention. I don't know if I want to use the word attention. I don't think enough emphasis or thought is put on mental health as in our industry as it should be. I think it's very not spoken about.
And physical.
Yeah, mental and physical. I mean, I got 2 blown out knees and a hip, so whatever.
Well,
but
we'll get into it maybe later.
You and I have lost some good friends.
Yeah.
some very good friends. I mean, and I honestly can't even. I think I can't go past here because I don't have any more fingers.
Right.
But the ones that hit home for me, and I'm going to say their damn names because they deserve to be said. Is Jimmy Johnson.
That was my right hand man for many, many years. I hired Jimmy.
Yeah.
In 95, 90, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And then Paulie, one of the best drum techs ever created.
Yeah.
Russell.
Funny as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You want to eat good, you go out with Paulie. He knows where to
go. Oh, yeah. And
but,
drink.
Oh, yeah, no.
What a meticulous drum tech.
I've never seen a non-fingerprint on a fucking cymbal ever in my life with him.
Unbelievable. If I got within 3 yards of the drum riser, I better be wearing gloves.
Yeah. And then, obviously Russell. And
that was tragic.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. I used to, even after I left Styx, I would call him every month. We would talk every month, at least once a month. And I didn't have any idea.
Makes two of us. And I talked to him maybe a week before.
Yeah, me too.
And, me too. It's like, and again, we're getting off track here, but, I guess my question for you.
Yeah, it deserves to be talked about. Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, we can go down the line. You and I, Todd Confessori. I mean,
oh, yeah.
That one killed me as one of my closest friends for 30.
Especially for you. Yes.
30 years. We've toured together. We were brothers. We, everything. We just didn't do Night Ranger together. We did Trickster together.
Yeah.
35 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, people, I don't think they know what we go through on the road. And, my question to you is, how has our lifestyle, the touring lifestyle, impacted your personal relationships? And that's not just with your wife, it's family, friends, partner, your wife. I mean, we can, kids.
Well, family, yeah. Definitely affected my home life. And I taught during the pandemic. Not only did I lose my mom, but I wound up teaching a class at Belmont College for a month, production.
Right.
First thing I would tell them is, do not put the band first. Don't. Put your family first. I made that mistake. And sometimes there's no coming back from it.
No.
Thank God, I'm still the same woman. My kids everybody's good. We're thriving. It's great. But I would come home, and once she said to me, why do you bother coming home?
Yeah.
Because
I actually remember hearing it too.
Yeah, there was a stretch where not only was I doing Styx, but Tommy and I were going to New York to do a damn Yankees record. This was in the early 2000s.
Right.
And at some point, it had been months since I'd been home. And, we're used to a month and a half. Usually you get home for a minute or two. This had been solid months gone, 3 or 4 months, whatever it was. And I had to make a conscious effort to change that.
Right.
And I did. Before it was too late. But don't put the band first. Even though it's your other family, you do have a family at home. And a lot of times, I added up how long I was gone, and during a course of whatever it was, 20 years or whatever it was gone 282 days a year. That's a lot. A lot of it was travel, but you're still gone.
No, the minute you walk out your door, you're gone.
You're gone. Yeah, I missed the mugs, passing away, and relatives, and kids things, and wife things. You got the time. Got to take the time. Nobody's going to die of cancer or anything if you're not there for a couple of shows.
Right. And that's why I think as we've gotten older, it's like what I like about the Jovi camp, and I'll use them for example, and the TSO camp as well. If something was to come up, we have guys who can fill our shoes for a couple days.
Yeah.
And you need to have that. Our production manager for Jovi, Chris Adamson, is, Napalm. He's awesome. And he thinks of everything, and he cares about his crew. And family, family ultimately is first. And like you, I've done the same thing. I've unfortunately, after I left you and went to another band, I put them first for reasons that I don't really want to discuss just yet until we figure out some information, you and I. But
I do know what you're talking about.
yes, but the reality is you kind of get coerced into putting them first. I'll leave it at that.
Well, life moves very quickly.
Yeah.
In that whirlwind of touring, and before you know it, 2-3 years have gone by.
Yeah.
If you're doing 100, 120 shows a year, it's just, and especially if you're a PM, your phone rings off. Even when you're home. My kids, when they were little, my office had French doors, and it had, it sounds fancy, but it wasn't. But they had glass, and you could see through it. And I'm sitting on the phone. My kids made a thing that said, "Take a number to talk to Dad."
Oh.
And there's, I swear to God.
Oh yeah, but I know what that means. That's hardcore.
Yeah, it was, and that was tough. That was a tough. And so I told my wife, I said, I will work until noon, because I was on the West Coast, the East Coast. I could do all my East Coast stuff. At noon, I didn't care. I shut the phone off.
Right.
When I was home.
Yeah.
And it worked out great.
Yeah, and I would do the same thing as a PM. I always was clear with management. I don't work weekends. It doesn't happen. 9 to 5.
I wish it happened to me, but it didn't. Yeah.
Well, it's just like I did again, made that mistake advancing some tours and stuff, and it was just and you know the deal. You're advancing an arena tour, it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt, but I will.
Okay.
It's being a PM is different than a TM. Perfectly put and in place. The TM gets a hotel room every day.
Yep.
So he can spread out and get his work done.
Yep.
You know what it's like to be a PM. You're lucky if you get an office.
Yep.
And a phone. And to advance more shows, it's impossible.
No.
It's either on days off or when you're home.
Yeah.
So when I was home, I was advancing the next leg of the tour. Always.
Yep.
It just never ended.
It never ended. And it's like I finally hit a point, and I did this with Janet Jackson when I was her PM a couple of years ago. I said, listen, you're only paying me X amount of dollars. That's cool. Greatly appreciated. But I work from 9 to 5 on the weekdays. Weekends, I don't answer my phone. I have grown, and I don't know if this has happened to you. I have grown to have serious anxiety.
Yes.
Talking on the phone.
Meds.
It's like my friends and my family don't understand. I can't. I can't. Like, I will, because I try to show respect.
Right.
But the weekends, I don't pick up my phone to talk on my phone at all. I'll play mahjong just to get my head out of the clouds, but I won't talk on the phone. I have developed, like, my phone rings, I'm like,
yeah.
It's just how it's turned out to be. It's like, and it's not like a little anxiety attack. It's a full-blown anxiety attack. It's like, I don't want to talk. I freak out,
Yeah.
So, but that's just me. All right, let's pull out of that.
Yeah,
So-
you got to manage to wrap it up. You just need to manage your life.
Yeah.
So that it's manageable for everyone in your family.
Right. And that's what a lot of people, and I agree. And I learned that later in life, obviously, now that I have gray hair and shit like that.
Yeah.
And my kids are grown.
Right.
I wish I would have learned that sooner.
Me too.
I really do. But I have a great relationship with my kids.
Good.
My current wife, who we've been together now.
As long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been married. This year will be 14 years. And then, going back to 2007, whatever the hell it was, yeah. So
Right.
I don't remember. But anyway, so I wish I would have learned it sooner, but now I missed a lot, but now it's good.
It's okay. Yeah. As
You
long
know?
as you learn it.
What's that?
As long as you learn it and you're moving forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't go back. A lot of people want to live in the past. You can't.
No.
Move
It's
on.
funny. Michelle and I were talking about it earlier. We were talking about something, and I was talking about, man. Oh no, yeah. I was just talking about the debauchery back in the day, and I said, I would love to go back to the camaraderie,
Right.
but I couldn't handle that lifestyle that I lived back in the 80s and 90s.
No, me neither.
I'd be dead. I mean, I gotta take a freaking blood pressure medication just to get through the fucking day now. So I couldn't go back to
My
that.
voice sounds funny. Medication. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
It's 72 years old. It's, I made it this far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to make it a little further. That's all.
All right. So here's another question. We'll get back. We'll kind of ping pong back and forth with mental health, but I do want to kind of start. But let's ask another just normal question.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever had to load in, carry, or fix on tour?
Easy. Oh, on tour. I'll tell you the cartage one first. I got a gig to move a wallaby.
What?
One of my cartage clients in the jingle business was from Australia, and he bought a big place out in the outskirts of Chicago, big farm, and he had llamas and stuff. And I got a call. We need you to go to the airport and pick up Mark. His name is Mark Weinstein. I hope he's still around. Great guy. And pick up. He bought a wallaby, and they shipped it from. So I'm driving out to his farm with a wallaby next to me in a cage.
You got me beat.
Sorry, that's the weirdest thing on tour. What was the question? What was the strangest thing I?
Well, did? like what's the weirdest thing? For me, with you, it's that damn disco ball.
Oh God.
Oh
yeah.
I hated that thing.
Was huge. Well, the letters.
Oh yeah.
Remember they went up and they spelled sticks, except the carrot. We had a carrot.
I remember seeing the carrot in pictures.
Right, but Russell, God rest his soul. At the start of the show, the carrot comes up, which mimicked the album cover,
right?
Which was very cool, done by the guys who do Pink Floyd and everything else. And we had these letters that would pop up and read sticks. And I'm standing behind the walkway with the guys in the band. The letters go up, and they're looking, and one of them turns to me and says, "I should not be able to read that."
It was backwards.
Not only did the carrot do something weird, the letters were backwards. Russell put them backward.
That is friggin' awesome.
The PM didn't check it. So I got to take some responsibility. But it was so funny. I mean, come on.
No, yeah, I'm sure the guys handle it like champs too. They probably laugh their asses off too.
I mean, talk about a tap moment,
Yeah. All right. So so this one is big with me. This question in regards to mental health, and I wrote this question personally. You and I have dealt with this. So many of us roadies struggle with burnout. And I went through it quite a few times. What signs have you noticed in yourself or others that exhibit burnout?
With me, it wasn't good. It affected me terribly. I was not myself. I was so burned out toward the end of my tenure with one of the bands I worked for that I just wasn't a good person. I just didn't. It was not good, and you have to recognize that. And I recognized it after I left, and I got into a different situation. I worked more on the corporate side of things, and I was a much different person. It was just, after I didn't realize I'd hit the wall.
Yeah.
I was just decades, just too many years just too many years. I was burned out.
Yeah.
And I should have recognized it. I really should have.
I have the same problem. I don't realize I'm burnt out, and people on tour, when people start asking me on a daily, "Hey, you okay? You okay?"
No.
Yeah. I think so. Well, you look
nobody asked me that.
Yeah.
I wish they would have.
Well, they would see me like quiet, and that's how I know my burnout now. I've learned my symptoms is I get very quiet, and you really don't hear a peep out of me. It's just like if I'm burnt out, I don't want to associate with anything or anyone. I just want to go to Groundhog Day and do my gig, and that's it. And that's
I couldn't do that. I had to interact with everybody.
I know. And so that's why I like being a backline guy sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
to catering. Where's catering?
Yeah.
Where's the flowers? Which ones can we use?
what dock am I in, and I'm good.
Yeah, that's it. The PM, especially in my world, it just never stopped. And I could have used a friend, and people I thought were my friends weren't.
I know that one.
Yeah,
I know that one. And that's my thing too. It's just like now that I've recognized my burnout symptoms, I've learned to adapt and not let them affect me as much anymore. Like TSO, I love everybody on that thing. But like I said, when you're doing 2 shows a day, you're doing 5 days in a row, sometimes a long bus ride, sometimes not, depends on the year. You get burnt out, and you get burnt out within the first 2 weeks. And it's not a place to be grumpy. It's not a place to be, excuse my French, a fucking asshole. So
that was my thing. I was grumpy.
Yeah, I always knew when you were having a bad day. I always knew when you were tired, when you were grumpy. And I'm the same way. Again, it's that old Chicago, New Jersey thing. It's like we get that way. But I learned my symptoms and my signs, and I've learned to change my mindset to maybe find something to laugh about. And that breaks me. If I find something to laugh about, I will forget being grumpy. So we make it a thing, like Jovi, our crew is awesome. All we do all day is cut up. That's all we do. We just break balls, cut up, Adam Sandler quotes, just laughing our asses off. And then the same thing with TSO, because it's the only way at our age we're going to get through without making a bad rep for ourselves or making us just look like schmucks.
Right.
And that's just not something that we want to do. We don't want, nobody ever wants to treat the local. I fucking hate people who treat local crew like they're garbage. I've ripped in. I'm a little guy too. I'm only like 5'7.5" now. I'm shrinking, but I've ripped into but you're a little guy too. So we're like little people, but I've ripped into big ass guys and told them to shut the fuck up. You don't speak to another human being like you're trash.
Yeah.
They don't know what so here's a quick, great story for you to deviate, and then we'll get back to this. But so coming out of the pandemic, I was with the Goo Goo Dolls. I was stage manager, and great crew. Brian Kutzman. You got to know Brian Kutzman. BK. He's freaking, oh God, he's hysterical. And we came out, and we're doing these tours, and I can remember this place. It was somewhere in Arkansas, the Walmart amphitheater. It was 5,000-6,000 seat amphitheater, and we roll up, and as stage manager, get out in the morning, chalk the floor, looking at everything, doing what we're doing, and then the local crew shows up, and I gather everybody on the dock, and we have a load-in meeting, how I want to do things, how things are going to be done. And I always ask this question, and it never became more prevalent to me to ask this question than coming out of the pandemic, and I'm glad I did. I would always ask, hey, listen, we're here to help you guys. We're here to teach you guys if you don't know what you're doing, but I need you to be honest with me. Raise your hand if you've never done this before.
Good question.
It really is, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get hurt. You're going to hurt one of my guys, or more so, you're going to hurt yourself. We don't want that. So I asked, I had 35 on the end, and I said, if you don't know what you're doing, be straight with me. Just tell me, raise your hand, and we will teach you. 33 people raised their hand and said, this is our first time.
Oh, no.
They got them from Manpower and Labor Ready.
Yep. There must have been another big show loading in.
No. It's freaking the middle of Arkansas. It wasn't squat.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
But guys they splintered off, the other
unions. That's a great question.
You have to ask, because you're going to assume, and then you're going to get pissed because you assumed and you were wrong.
Yep.
And we can never be wrong. So what do we do to compensate? We get pissed off at the person.
And grumpy. Yep.
One guy, he came up to me, he goes, what do I do with this box? I said, okay, you're going to take it over there to that guy, and he'll tell you what to do. So he took it over there, and my guy said, okay, open up the box. The guy goes, how do you open the box?
From Mickey's ears to the left.
So I said, tell him what to do. Teach him. We are teachers now.
Yeah.
And it worked. Asking the question worked on the in and the out, obviously. But you have to. Yeah. Anyway, so, all right. So I'll move on from that. I don't know if I want to ask you this question.
Oh boy, great.
Was
Is it?
there? No. Well, for me, I know what this is, and it's someone had asked me, wrote in and said, "Here's a question for you. What role does substance use, we'll leave it at that,
Hmm.
play in your tour life, and how have you seen it affect mental health? Alcohol, drugs."
Well, it shouldn't play into it at all.
Well, we know, guys.
But does it? Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it happens.
and in the last 15, 20 years, it was pain meds. You know, a lot of people got hurt and accidentally get put on these medications
Yep.
because they were deemed to be safe.
And then they
Yeah.
got addicted.
Yep. And you've got to be honest about that. And a lot of people couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I almost got caught up in that.
Yeah.
You know, I got hurt, pretty bad back. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it.
No, it's fine.
But I should have done things differently when I got hurt. But everybody was getting hurt on this tour, and I kept getting, hearing things, it just nobody guided me in the right direction, and I just never got the help I needed.
Right.
Until many years later. Physical help. I had shoulder rebuilt. I had all when I should have addressed it at the time. But my life just didn't stop. I couldn't take time off to get myself fixed.
Yep.
No.
Oh,
So
I know that one very well.
Yeah, exactly. I did. Since then, yes. Since then, thank God I've got great doctors and got shoulder fix. Working on getting myself back to 100%. Hopefully.
Well, that was the problem with me. I mean, I'm on, I want to say, over 30 years off of pills, but I had gotten hurt a long time ago, and I was drinking and eating pills like they were Pez candy. I didn't care what they were. Give me a pill. Give me. I didn't care.
Come to a doctor.
Well, that's just it. We back in the day, and it's not like this anymore, thank God. But we had rock docs.
Yeah,
and they didn't give a shit. And they write
anything. And you'll feel great, and it works.
Yes,
it works for a while until you start working for it.
Yeah,
it works.
I mean, my drug of choice now is ibuprofen and friggin' Metamucil.
Oh God!
Pepto-Bismol.
You can see what I got behind you. I got all my supplements and and all this other stuff. I got doctors. I got all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I get it.
But what role does it play? Not a very good one now. If you're our age,
yeah.
But back in the day, listen, there was a lot of marching powder and stuff like that people imbibed in and stuff, and still got the job done. But they're in their 20s. It's a lot different when you're in your 40s and 50s.
No, 100%. I mean, nowadays, back in the day, I remember, I remember on the Trickster tour, we would be so blind drunk, we drink ourselves sober and then get up like 2 hours later and do load-in.
Yeah.
I'm doing load-in hammered. And it's like, all right, this was normal. That's what we did.
But you got it done and you're a kid, when you're but there comes a point where you realize, you're pushing a case at 7 a.m. and you're like, this is no fun.
No.
You start to feel, when you feel good, that's good.
Yeah.
You realize the difference and you grow up, Some people never grew up.
No. My kids changed my life. They are the reason I got clean.
Yeah.
And it had to be. So here's one.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. So looking back, what is the proudest moment you have ever had working behind the scenes? Like you were just elated, proud.
Boy, we've pulled off some amazing things. I'd have to really think about that. I don't know. There was some things travel things that were just insane. Boy, I can't nail one of my. We may have to come back to that.
Okay.
Well,
We're going to be doing this again, so we'll put that on the list.
Book that as another question. It'll probably come to me, but I can't at this moment. There was something. Let me just say this one thing about the Styx crew, because I was there for a long time. We pulled off things that other crews could never do.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of some of the you and I don't know if you were there for the NBC thing where we finished 2 private jets.
Yes.
Go in at 2 in the morning and we do the Today Show and then again do Jones Beach that night. So
what do you mean private jets?
That's the one right there.
I got you.
I'm going to load in at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, and we loaded in, set it up. Sound check was at like 6 or something. The show ran at 7. Load it up, go to Jones Beach, do that show, and then finally 2.5, 3 days later, get some sleep.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. I mean, I've lost track of how many times I've gone from load in, show, load out, 2 hours, load in. You know, when you do those NBC shows, you know, you're loading in at 2 in the morning. You just finished loading out at the last venue.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's one thing I've always loved. So
and we got the beer rigs because you know they pop in a truck that you haven't seen in months, you know, loading gear and hoping that it all works. You know, where am I going to find a store that's open? You know, so you better have all the shit you need with you in case something goes sideways.
Yep.
You know,
so here's a picture that I absolutely love of you. And, you know, you and Tommy, I mean, he was always the sweetest guy to me.
Yeah.
You know, but this picture is just so cool. And you're so damn young and so is he.
It was a lot of years ago, I'm sure. Yeah, listen, he was one of my best pals. And one of the most talented guys, you know, walking the planet. And, you know, families were close, you know, for a lot of years.
Right. But this picture, this next picture, we both got a mutual friend in here. And you did something that I love, the Raiding the Rock Vault that you did in Vegas. I never got to see it, but I always saw the videos and stuff, and I thought it was cool. This picture right here, that's my other boss, Hugh McDonald.
Yeah, and the kid in the middle is Ryder Aldridge. That's Doug Aldrich's son.
Doug's son?
Yes.
Wow.
Who is now a teenager.
Yep. I think I met Doug's son once.
Yeah.
But yeah, Huey is just probably one of the sweetest, nicest men on the planet, not only to work for, but to be a friend of.
Oh my God.
He's such a great person, so warm, and he treats you with the utmost respect. And I love that guy. And he's, you know, I take care of him and John and Jovi, and it's just a pleasure to work for them both. But Hugh just makes your day. He's just a sweet man.
Many years, and they don't come any better. They really don't.
Not nowadays.
Funny story about Rock Vault. So I left Styx in 2012, September. And you know, my suitcase always loomed, and I'm sure it did yours as well.
Yeah.
You got home, it was always in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So it never, you know, if you're home, there's the suitcase because you're leaving again.
I keep mine on the bed in the guest room unless we have a guest.
That's good. Mine was always next to the bed on my side, you know. And I hadn't gotten around to unpacking. And I knew, you know, I could unpack. I was done. I was so looking forward to some time off for some mental health and just, you know, my sanity and being with my family. And the phone rings, and it's my good friend Paul Dexter.
Oh, Paul, yeah.
Who's the lighting director for REO Speedwagon, and says, I understand you're available. And I'm like, oh no, clunk. And I said, listen, I just got home. You know, no. He goes, just please come to this meeting. I think you're the right guy for this. And sure enough, I went to a meeting and I met John Payne and Harry Cowell, and that was my next 4 years, Vegas, Rock Vault. I hadn't even unpacked.
I've been there, man. I get it. I mean, now I've
Yeah.
I've been lucky, and I'm very honestly grateful that
Oh,
my career has gone the way it's gone because now I can pick and be more selective who I work for.
good for you. Good.
You know, I've hit that point where I'm okay working, for the older bands because the respect is there, the pay is there, the camaraderie's there. I have gotten, no joke, last week alone, 3 calls to work for bands
Yeah.
I've never heard of. And then I go online and go, dude, I got kids older than these guys.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
whole
like,
new generation out
no.
there.
I'm like, no. I mean, I'll go work for Beyonce. I'll go work for, Taylor Swift. Hands down, I'll work for Taylor Swift.
Oh, God, yeah.
But for the love of God, if I got kids older than you and I got 5, no fucking way. And if you can't pay me my rate, I've learned, I think you taught me this too a long time ago when you told me, when we discussed my salary for Styx, you said, don't ever take less than your last gig and don't ever devalue your worth. And I think that came from you because
I told that to a lot of people.
what's that?
I told that to a lot of people, yeah.
So it's one of those things that I've never, oh, what, you want to pay me? No, sorry. I had a manager call me and he just was so fucking cocky, dude. This was like a few months ago. He was just like, thought his band didn't stink. And I'm like, listen, pal, I've never heard of your band, but what's the salary? He's like, oh, well, it's $1,500 a week. And then there's no PDs on show days. And we're talking about doubling people up. I said, well, let me know how that goes for you.
Yeah.
I make more sitting at home on my ass.
Problem is, there's guys that will do that.
That's the problem.
They'll take those jobs.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it, but turn it down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to put myself through what I like to call the Warped Tour mentality.
Yeah.
And that's living on the bus, no showers, no hotel. No, I am almost 60 years old and I am an old ass grown man who wants to sleep naked and not have to be in a room with anybody else. Leave me alone. I need a shower every day.
Yeah. I have tried to explain this to tour managers. This is the time that if they want to run around and scream into a pillow or jump on this is their time. Do not double them up.
No.
It will come back and bite you in the ass.
Yep.
Because you cannot take it for too long. They need their space. They really do.
I was doing a tour back in 97, 98 with Slayer, and we were over in Europe. And I had been with Slayer for quite a while beforehand, and we always had single rooms. Well, we had a new tour manager come in, and we get to Europe, and then we get the rooming list, and me and Rick Deasing are sharing a room.
Huh?
I'm like, I look at Rick and go, this has got to be a typo. And then on the rooming list, everyone was sharing a room. We're like, no.
You must have come from that world.
Yeah. I'm like, not happening. And then we get the excuse from the tour manager, oh, the hotel was sold out of rooms. So what do? We go to the front desk and say, hey, by the way, what's your room availability? Oh, we're not sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
So we caught you in a lie because you're trying to kiss management's ass and save a buck.
Yeah.
So we fixed that situation quick, but you're right. It will bite you in the ass.
Yeah, because it's just, then people, theyll take it out on somebody.
Yep. Well, that's why I try to tell new people coming into the camp, don't try to step on the guys who have been here for years.
Yeah.
They will cut your throat faster than you can anything.
Yeah, but they'll do it, but you don't even notice it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not stupid.
Oh, ninja style.
Yeah, exactly. And especially, I teach this to a lot of guys. You want to find out if the hotel, the tour manager tells you it's sold out, blah, blah, blah. Call them at 3 a.m. and say, hey, were you sold out? Don't tell them who you are. And if they tell you, oh, no, we got plenty of rooms, you can get into your rooms early.
Right.
There's rooms available.
Yeah.
If they tell you, oh, you got to wait till 3 to get your rooms. Wait a second. You got rooms that are available. So there's a lot of tricks you can do.
Oh, yeah. And I think us older ones, we know those tricks and we know how to sweet talk the front desk.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh,
so
yeah.
here's one. So how did you, when you toured, how did you balance the identity of being a roadie, tour manager, production manager, whatever position you were in,
Right.
with the need for stability and self-care? Because I think that is a huge problem now. People identify by their job, and I identify by Danny. I'm me.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So
Do you
how did
think
you?
about with other people? How would you?
What's that?
I don't understand. Maybe I don't understand the question. With other people or with yourself? How do you identify?
No, how did you identify? How did you have the balance of identifying yourself as a roadie with the need for stability and your own stability and your own self-care?
God, I never even thought about it.
Well, think about it this way. What did you, when you actually had a day off, how did you relax? How did you get the thoughts out of your head? For me, it was next to impossible sometimes.
Well, I usually took a walk by myself. That was one thing. Go, look for like a PF Chang's or something, get some food. A lot of people drank. I never drank.
Once I quit, I couldn't go to the bar.
Exactly.
I can't go to bars.
And then I walk in and watch people being stupid, and then I'm glad I never drank. I mean, I don't think you've ever seen me with a drink.
No, I don't. I can't remember saying I did.
I didn't. I've just been sober a long time. So, take a walk, kind of, I was always so busy, because if I was in my room, I was on the phone, a lot of the time. It just never ended.
I know.
For me, it just never ended. And the bands that I worked for were just, they just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
And until I left Styx in 2012, I didn't realize that there's a whole other world out there, that you can adapt to. The Rockfall thing was great. I sent Jimmy a video of my loadout, which was me turning off the pedal board. That was it.
That's why we love multi-nighters, man. Turn it off, close the door, we're out of there.
How about years in the same place?
I know.
Well, we moved hotels once. That was it.
That's why residencies rule.
Oh, God, it was great.
Well, here's one that you might be able to answer better. I missed this one here. So if you had to step away when you were touring, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. How do you feel that you or other crew members that you've toured with or have seen dealt with depression and anxiety while touring? I mean, we've all seen crew guys deal with depression. We've all seen it. They lash out in anger. They become quiet and isolated. Yep. So,
they eat a lot.
Yes.
A lot of guys got heavy.
Yes.
And I've reached out to a couple of them and said, they didn't want to hear it.
I think we know the same person.
Yeah.
And I have concerns in a bad way about that too.
Yeah, he's got kids.
I know.
And yeah. So I'm not.
And I understand why. I understand why.
Absolutely. And that's why I reached out to, it's because band members reached out to me saying, I know you know him well. Can you talk to him?
Yeah.
And I tried, and I don't know if it worked or not. I don't think it did, but
yeah. We can talk, I don't want to talk about that particular person. We can talk about that personally because we have a commonality there, and that's
yeah. And I love him dearly.
100%.
Yeah. But I've seen it, and how rephrase it.
Well, how do you see? Okay, how do you see crew guys on the road dealing with depression and anxiety?
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. They ignore it, and some of them turn into really horrible people.
Yeah.
I
was one of them.
Yeah. Maybe that was me. I don't think it was horrible, but there was definitely something I needed to deal with.
No, the only thing I ever noticed about you when you got like me, you got grumpy.
Yeah.
You got grumpy. As I've gotten older, I've gotten quieter.
Yeah.
and I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody and sugarcoat jack shit. I mean, I'm at my age and I've toured for close to damn 4 years. I still, I have friends who suffer from depression. They suffer. And I have friends and family that suffer from depression.
Sure.
I deal with depression because I've learned traits to snap myself out of it thanks to my therapist.
You get the tools.
Yeah. She's given me the tools to snap out of it.
Yeah.
My depression normally means isolation in my own home. If I'm on the road and I'm around other people, I'm able to snap out of it faster because there's the camaraderie. You could be in that depressed moment 1 minute, and then someone cracks a joke or does or does something silly and makes you laugh, and I break.
Or they ask how you're doing.
Yeah. They'll want to talk to you. Give a shit.
And when they don't, you wonder, wow, I really wish they would.
Yeah.
So, in my case, I was hoping someone would come to me, hey, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Never happened.
How do you feel? And, how do you feel? Or should I say, do you think the touring industry is getting better at addressing mental health? Or I feel personally, some places still avoid the conversation while there are organizations out there that are bringing awareness. That's what I want to do here.
Yeah. Starts from the top.
And it has to start from the top. And I think a lot of bands, they don't address it.
Nope.
I'm being honest. If Rockstars, you hear this?
Listen, I give the bands a pass because a lot of times because they don't interact with the crew as much as a tour manager would.
Yeah.
And, through the production manager, he talks to the tour manager more than they talk to the band. Band comes, their job is to play. They can all smiles here. Everything's great.
Yep.
That's the rule. Everything, is anything wrong? No, nothing's ever wrong.
Well, yeah, you don't want to throw a wrench in their day.
Oh, you want to talk about what's wrong? Oh, okay, great. Haven't had a shower in 4 days. They don't want to hear none of that. No, here's your guitar. I had a great day. It was pouring rain up until 2 hours you got here. Yep. Now it's beautiful skies, and what's there to be grumpy about?
Right.
So,
and then when you say at the top, I always refer to the tour manager. Tour manager and production manager to me at the top.
That's what I mean. So if the tour manager doesn't address it, it does not get addressed. And then you become shut down. And then you just, like you say, you get quiet, or hopefully you will deal with it in your own way, either at home or now there's a lot of online, there's a lot of good came out of the pandemic because there's a lot of places online. I've talked, therapists online, and it really helps, Well,
so I could recommend it more. I mean, the funny thing is,
the help is there.
Yeah, the help is there, but you have to. You just can't wait for it to fall into your lap. And for me, there was a pivotal moment. So I don't know if you know Andrew Crow. He's a dear friend of mine. Great production manager, great sound guy. He was my PM with Rob Thomas, and he's also a brother Freemason with me. We were talking, and I was just going through some shit, and he's like, it's not bad to to want to talk to a therapist, which he kind of planted the seed. And then right out of the pandemic, I was in LA. And my brother was in LA, PJ Farley. He plays with Fozzy, and he was bass player for Trickster, is the bass player for Trickster. And he was in LA, so we decided to meet up at the Rainbow, the old haunt from back in the day, and we're gonna have some dinner. And I kind of sat and talked with him and told him I was just. And listen, this is no fucking secret. I wouldn't have done anything because I'm too chicken shit because I love my family too much. But I'm like, dude, I just don't want to just do this anymore. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And then he just looked at me and goes, you need to just go see a therapist. And that was to hear it out of his mouth, someone who, we went to school together. He's my son's godfather, best man at both my weddings. It's like to hear it out of his mouth, someone I trust with my life and my children's lives. Yeah, it was time.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit. And I'm grateful to, Music Health Alliance, Sheila Biddy and Colleen Hoagland. Mm-hmm. They were really there for me.
Is that part of Music Care?
Well, they work with Music Cares, but they're based in Nashville, and they help road crew get health insurance, help get their bills paid. Nice. I had no health insurance when my whole surgery, and then I almost lost my right foot due to diabetic cellulitis.
I remember that. Yeah.
They got music. They talked to Music Cares. Music Care paid all my bills for my surgeries.
That's great.
My Masonic Lodge paid for my dental bills, thank God, because we were going broke during the pandemic. And that depression sits in, and that's I went in the depression. I went depression in the pandemic. I went down this hole that I like to call blacker than black. Like I couldn't escape. I went through the day. My wife or my kids, hey, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And that's what we got. That's what we as guys do. Yeah, we're fine.
Hey, like I said, I lost my mom. I listened to her pass away on a cell phone.
Yeah.
She was in Chicago, and out of nowhere, and I'm glad I'm still here. You know, that's I still think about it every single night.
But when
place again,
when I spoke to Coley, they put me onto some great resources to find a therapist, and I found this great therapist, and I've been with her since the pandemic. And now she's on speed dial, but I don't need her as much anymore,
right?
Because she's given me the tools to cope, to pull myself out of me dealing with depression. I do feel bad, horrible, because when I deal with depression, I can only imagine what people who suffer from it go through, because it's got to be worse. And it's brutal for me, but they suffer from it. I feel bad for them. But
they have tools like you do.
Right. And they need the tools, and it's not just about throwing fucking medication at people. Because I told my therapist, I said, I am X amount of years sober at the time. I don't want a damn thing given to me that could possibly be addictive.
Right.
Because I will take it, and I will take it times 10. You can't give me anything that's addictive.
Yeah.
You can't. So she's like, let's work on some tools to help you. And literally, she picked my brain. I think our second conversation, we were on the phone for 2.5 hours, because she wanted to know what my day on the road was like, so she can help me find mechanisms through that day to help me cope. One of those mechanisms was, no matter what time of the year the tour was, go stand outside for 10 minutes. Now, I quit smoking.
Yeah. Good for you.
I couldn't go outside and smoke anymore. Right. So I would go outside and just breathe. Yeah. And it works.
Just vitamin, whatever the vitamin is that you get from the sunlight,
D.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, and it's just one of those things where I think our industry is getting better at addressing mental health. A lot of great resources have come out, and I'm going to start doing the research, putting them up on my website for the podcast. I've got a bunch of resources up there now, but I want to specifically search out Roadie resources. But I know Music Cares, Music Health Alliance, Gigs Live. There's so many, and that offer help. Sure. And my goal of this podcast would be to one day maybe be a motivational speaker for people, because I enjoy talking. I have zero fucks to give. If you don't want to hear the truth, then then you don't want to get better, because you're looking at someone who's trying
a lot of people just want the sympathy.
Right. And I don't want sympathy, because I'm harder on myself. Any road crew guy worth a shit, if they have okay, this because I think you've seen it out of me, and I've seen it out of you. If one thing in our show goes wrong, like one show, I forgot to turn Lawrence's smoke on.
Oh, right.
Too late. I turned it on a little too late. I beat myself up about that, to where I wrote down the timing of that song and where to turn it on, because I beat myself up about fucking smoke.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, maybe I can turn this into a good thing for myself, being so anal. But there are resources, and I want to help people. And guys like you and us older guys, maybe we can help people. I don't know, but
that's a lot of it is getting rid of those old habits. Of every show's got to be perfect. Everybody on your crew that you're responsible for has to be perfect. You have to, you just need a perfect shot. That it's impossible to do that.
Yeah.
You do the best you can.
It's like I told, Tom Consolo, obviously, Tom Consolo.
Yeah, sure.
We sat and broke bread one night and we were laughing our asses off because, two, Italians, Irish Mickeys, we was breaking bread. He said something to me about something going wrong with Kevin during one show. I looked at him and said, shit happens.
Yeah.
I don't control electronics. I build it. It works. If something happens, it happens.
Well, as I've told a lot about it, I go, if it's made by man, it will break.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
100%.
That's all you can do.
So where do you think and how do you feel? I mean, obviously we want to pay homage and we've said our friends' names on here, and I do miss them all. We are getting older. It sucks. And it's the ones who have passed are not going to be the last. And it really blows. But what do you say to the people out there who are not paying attention? Because you and I have had health issues.
Yeah.
And we go to our doctors. These guys have to reach out. There are resources to help them get medical that doesn't cost them out the wazoo.
And you know that better than I do. I've always been lucky.
Yeah.
Health insurance.
Yeah.
And turning 65, Medicare is brilliant. And I have enough, I get on Social Security that covers my supplement, pays all my bills. I am blessed, and grateful for the life I've got.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people don't have a home that's paid off, or, the health insurance isn't paid off, or it doesn't get paid every month. That may change. I don't know. But there's resources out there. And like I said, more than I do.
Right.
So
well, I'm going to start putting those resources together and getting them up there.
I know about music there. It's about all I know.
Right.
I've never had to reach out to them, which I'm lucky.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's not easy, but you can navigate it when you know the right people. And I've had to go through it. Therefore, now I know the right people.
Exactly. And you can
I didn't know where to look.
Yeah.
My buddy Keith Hoagland, who's Colleen Hoagland's husband, was my LD for Rob. And we did some other stuff together. He knew I was going through some health issues, turned me on to Colleen. Sure enough, the snowball effect happened. Colleen with Music Health Alliance and Sheila Biddy. Boom. But not every guy's got that friend.
Right.
There's guys out there who just don't know what to do. So I am going to start putting a resource thing together and get them posted up for crew guys. But we've been on for over an hour, my brother. We're going to hop here, but we're going to do a second one.
Okay, great.
So I'll keep you posted.
We may have more to tell. Who knows?
Yeah, you and me both.
Well, thank you, Danny, for reaching out.
Of course, my brother.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to pimp out, or if you want to promote, or if you just want to just say anything to the new crew coming into our world right now? Is there anything you got?
Well, it's a whole new brave new world out there.
No pun intended.
And having taught some of them and spoken to them, they're good kids coming up. They really are. And I can tell the ones that are going to make it and the ones that might not.
Yep.
You just know it. I mean, I had all I can say is work hard and focus on your family.
Yeah.
And look out for the red flags.
Well, it's like I tell them too, be humble. Number one.
And grateful.
Close your mouth. Be humble and grateful, but close your mouth, open your eyes and ears. Because you don't know shit compared to some of these old guys.
Some of us old guys know a couple of things.
Just remember that movie Roadie with Meatloaf.
Oh,
Potato and wire, he can power the stage.
That's right.
Some of us can still do that shit.
That's true. Well, thank you.
All right. All right, my brother. I love you dearly. We will talk soon. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, brother. Talk soon.
All right.
All right. Bye.